Good day, cramming engineers. Welcome back. So our topic for today will be about phasors. So let's discuss first kung ano yung phasor and why it is important in electrical engineering, especially in AC circuits. Okay, so let's start. Phasor, guys, it's just a complex number representation lamang ng ating sine wave, no? Or no ating waveform. It's important for us to understand this because it simplifies a lot of computations for us, especially when we're dealing with voltage and current in AC, ano? Since yung voltage and current natin ay represented by usually equations like this. Okay? So, pag alam natin yung phasor, mas magkakaroon tayo ng intuitive knowledge about the relationship between the voltage and the current of our circuits. Okay? So, first of all, let's visualize the phasor, ano? So if we have a waveform like this, a sine wave, pwede natin siyang kunan ng phasor, which is just, kung maalala nyo, it is just a complex number representation. Paano natin mako-convert yung isang ganitong itsura into something na complex number? Okay, so imagine that you have a circle and imagine that this sine wave is continuous, no? Tuloy-tuloy yan, guys, no? Imagine nyo, siya ay wave ng water. Imagine nyo, it moves papunta dito and this is the wall. Okay, so ma-imagine nyo, after some time, ang makita nyo is nandito na yung wave. Gumagalaw siya. Okay, so ang ginagawa ng phasor, guys, is it gives us a representation in complex numbers. Okay, so parang ganyan, no? And imagine that this is still moving and itong phasor natin, this is the phasor, ito ay para siyang nagro-rotate. Nandito na siya, nandito na siya. Okay, so I'll put a video ng mas malinaw na representation ng phasor, no? Transformation natin ng waveform into phasor here. Okay, so kung nai-imagine nyo, kung nakakita nyo that parang projection lang siya, yung waveform is parang napoproject natin into a, kung may imagine nyo para siyang relo, it's a clock, no? And it has a hand and it is rotating counterclockwise in the positive direction. Yun yung ating convention palagi in electrical engineering or engineering at that. Counterclockwise is positive, okay? So kung mapapansin nyo, yung hand clock ay nagro-rotate siya. And para siyang projection nung value na nababasa doon sa waveform instantaneously at any given time. So habang gumagalaw yung waveform, gumagalaw din yung ating phasor. Okay, so why is this important? Kasi guys, mas madali natin makita yung relationship ng maraming waveforms. Okay? So bakit natin kailangan? Kasi for example, in a single circuit, meron tayong dalawang waveforms na inaalala. Meron tayong voltage and meron tayong current. Okay? For example, this I of t and we also have, let's say, V of t, which is equal to Vm sine omega t. Let's name this as theta 1 plus, or let's name this as theta I, no? Angle ng current and ito angle no voltage. Okay, so for example, I have, let's write this in ibang color na lang, no? Let's write this in red and this in green. Okay, so meron tayong possible na ganito yung itsura ng current. And possibly, ganito rin yung itsura no voltage. Kapag ginawa nating phasor yang dalawa, it's possible na ang magiging kalalabasan niyan or makita natin that the phasor for the red one is nandito siya. And yung phasor nung green, which is yung voltage, is parang nandito siya. Okay? So, dito pa lang guys, sa picture na to, makita nyo if this is my current and this is my voltage. Hindi to, hindi to scale, itong example na to in the first place. And pati yung representation niya, no? Pero possibly, no, ganyan yung naging itsura niya. Nakita ninyo doon sa phasor kung ano yung relationship between the current and the voltage. Okay, so when reference, no, sa isa, for example, the reference is 0 degrees, nakita nyo that yung current natin is positive, let's say this is 30 degrees, ano? And yung voltage naman natin is, let's say it's negative 75 degrees with respect to the 0 degrees reference point. Okay? So, ayan. Okay, so dito, no, or later sa discussion natin, mas may intindihan nyo kung ano yung importance ng phasor diagrams. Okay? So, first, let's try, no, kung paano mag-convert nitong waveform equation natin into a phasor. Okay? So, simple lang yan, guys. When I say let's convert it into phasor, let's convert it into a complex number. Okay, so itong equation natin for current, pwede natin siyang ma-represent into a complex number. So ito, it can be written as I of t is equal to, we'll go first into a polar kasi yun yung may straightforward way into converting, no, from this form, general form, into the phasor. Okay, so ito, pwede nating malagay as Im angle theta I. No? Ito yung aking theta I. Okay? Nga pala guys, this is just direct conversion, ano, from our general form into a complex number. So, in actual practice in electrical engineering, hindi natin usually guys ginagamit si maximum value. Okay? So, tandaan nyo to, kapag tayo ay nagko-convert into a phasor, usually, if hindi naman given or hindi naman sinabi na ang gamitin natin ay max values, usually, by default, ang ginagamit natin is RMS values. Okay? And how do we get RMS values from maximum or peak values? Na discuss natin to in our previous lessons in AC waveform measurements, ano, that RMS, example, IRMS, is just equal to your Im over the square root of 2. Okay? So, by default guys, kapag galing kayo dito sa form na to, sa general form, pag i-convert nyo to into a phasor, ang gagawin nyo is, kailangan nyo munang i-convert ito into RMS. So, ang magiging kalalabasan talaga niyan is Im over the square root of 2, then saka nyo ilalagay yung angle. Okay, so, gawa tayo ng example that may IT is equal to Im. IT is equal to, let's say, 20 sine 377t plus 30 degrees. Okay? So, for example, ito yung ating equation for current. Kapag i-convert ko yan into a phasor, it will look like this. So, IT will look like 20 over the square root of 2 angle 30. Okay? Kinopya lang natin yun. This is our Im. And ito na yung ating naging polar or complex number representation. Okay? So, instead na i-drawing natin itong waveform na to, napakahirap, mag-sine wave ka pa dyan, alamin mo pa kung saan siya mag-start. So, actually, hindi pa yan yung tama kasi dapat ito, kung titingnan mo tong waveform na drawing ko, angle 0 dapat siya kasi nag-start siya doon sa 0. So, kung ang gusto mo talaga ay accurate, so, magbibinang ka ng 30 degrees. Positive 30 degrees. Actually, kapag plus, papunta ka sa kaliwa, no? So, dito ka 30 kasi nagli-lead ka, no? So, dito ka mag-i-start, no sine. Kaya napakahirap gumawa. As compared, guys, kung i-drawing mo siya into a phasor, this is simply just angle 30. This is 30 degrees. And this is 20 over the square root of 2. Ayan. Diyan pa lang guys, na-represent na natin itong parameter na to into a phasor. Okay? Kapag given pa yung ating VT, no, let's say our VT is 50 angle, let's say 50 sine 377t plus, let's say, 65. Okay, kapag ganyan pa yung voltage natin, ayan, pwede pa rin natin gawin yan into phasor. So, ang VT natin will be 50 over the square root of 2 angle, yun, yung face niya, which is 65. Okay, so paano natin yan ito-drawing? Ganun lang din ulit. So, angle 65, dun ka. So, let's say this is angle 65. And since alam natin that 50 over square root of 2 is greater than 20 over square root of 2, i-drawing mo na medyo mas malaki yung kanyang radius. And this is angle 65 degrees. Okay, so sa phasor guys, nakita na natin yung relationship ng current and ng voltage. Maraming information na tayong pwedeng makuha dito as katulad ng ano yung difference angle ng dalawang phasors, no? Pwede na rin natin makita dito yung visually looking at it, nakita natin na mas malaki yung voltage kesa sa current niya, ano? And so on and so forth, okay? So, ayan. But before tayo mag-proceed, bibigyan ko muna ulit kayo ng super daling way kung paano mag-convert ng sine into cosine. Why? Kasi usually guys, yung given sa atin, ayan di ba naka-sine? Pero minsan kasi ang given sa atin cosine din. So for example, you have IT is equal to Im sine omega t plus theta I. Okay? And then given ka rin ng Vt equal to Vm, pero instead na sine, ang given sa'yo ay cosine omega t plus theta V. Okay? So, kailangan natin, most of the times, kailangan natin i-convert yung sine into cosine or cosine into sine para maging consistent tayo sa ating representations ng ating waveform. Sa bagay, hindi naman natin babaguhin yung waveform, babaguhin lang natin yung representation. Okay? So, ang ituturo ko sa inyo is how to convert from a sine function into cosine function without all of those trigonometric functions or identities na kailangan natin sa uluhin. Okay? So, look at this. For example, I have this Cartesian plane. Let's name yung nasa x-axis natin. Alam naman natin that there is a connection between cosine and the x coordinates. Tama? So, let this be the positive cosine. Let this be the negative cosine. Yung sa y naman, let that be the positive sign and let this be the negative sign. Okay, so anong importance nito? So, say that we have a function y equals cosine omega t plus 30. Okay? And gusto natin i-convert itong function na to into its sine counterpart. So, ano daw siya? Ano magiging argument natin kung i-convert natin into sine? Okay, so gamit itong Cartesian coordinates na ginawa natin, tingnan nyo kung nasan kayo nanggaling. Galing kayo sa positive cosine. Okay, galing kayo dito. Galing kayo dito. And gusto nyo pumunta kayo doon sa sine. Okay, tandaan nyo again, ang convention natin, we are positive pag tayo ay counterclockwise and tayo ay negative pag tayo ay clockwise. Okay, so pag galing tayo sa positive cos and papunta tayo sa positive sign, kailangan nating mag-move counterclockwise. Tama? So, tayo ay mag-a-add ng 90 degrees. Kasi from this line, papunta dun sa patayo na line, the difference is 90 degrees. Tama ba? So, ibig sabihin guys, kung ano man yung original nyo na argument, kukopyahin nyo lang yon. Pero since pumunta kayo sa sine from cosine, pumunta kayong sine from cosine, mag-a-add kayo ng 90 degrees. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, this y equals cosine omega t plus 30 is just equal to sine omega t plus 120. So, for another example, bakit may mga negative dyan? Kasi meron naman talaga na, for example, ang given sa inyo is y equals negative sine omega t plus 45. Okay? Ano ang, pag tinanong kayo, ano yung conversion niya into a positive cosine? Okay? Ano yung conversion na into positive cosine? And what if tanungin rin kayo, ano yung conversion niya into a negative cosine? Okay? So, first of all, kopyahin nyo yung original. Oops. Okay, so dito muna tayo sa number 1. So, from negative sign, pupunta tayo sa positive cosine. So, galing tayo dito, no, pupunta tayo sa positive cosine. So, kapag ganyan, ano yung ginagalaw niya? Is it clockwise, counterclockwise? Di ba siya ay counterclockwise? So, tayo ay magpa-plus ng 90. Okay? Dito naman, kung pupunta tayo sa negative cosine, from negative sign, papunta tayo negative cosine, since ang nilakbay niya or ang minove niya is clockwise, mag-a-add tayo ng negative 90. So, magma-minus 90 ka dito. So, this is equivalent to cosine, this is equivalent to cosine omega t plus 135. Okay? And ito naman, this is negative cosine omega t minus 45. Okay? Negative sine omega t plus 45 ay equal lang sa cosine omega t plus 135, and at the same time, it is also equal to negative cosine omega t minus 45. But take note guys, na kapag nandito tayo, kapag mag-check kayo sa calculator, this is in degrees, but usually, ang nasa calculator, this is in radians. Okay? So, kailangan nyo muna siyang i-convert into rad. So, paano natin i-check? Ito, gawin nyo, y is equal to, gawin nyo, y is equal to negative sine omega t plus 45 times, convert natin to rad, that is 180 degrees sa denominator and pi sa taas. Okay? And itry nyo kung equal yan kay cosine omega t, plus 135 times pi over 180 degrees. And if that also equal to negative cosine omega t minus 45 times pi over 180 degrees. Okay? So, I hope, pare-pareho lang yan. So, paki-check na lang sa inyong mga calculators. So, ayan po, that is just my simple way ng pag-convert. Merong mga ganito, pero yung ibang mga nakita ko is medyo nakakalito. Parang itong negative sign ay nasa taas at yung positive sign ay nasa taas, etc. Di ko alam. Hindi ko na siya inaral. So, nag-try ako mag-isip kung paano yung mas straightforward at medyo aligned dun sa ating mga conventions katulad nito. Okay? So, the next one is conversion from the waveform equation into its polar form. Okay, so actually, naturo ko na. Ito lang yun. Let's do this as an example. If it is equal to 20 sine omega t plus 30, tandaan nyo, this is your Im. Pag kinonvert natin into polar form, it is 20 angle 30. Pero, tandaan nyo that this is max current. Okay? Kasi, max to. Given. Usually, in this form, in this syntax, palaging yung coefficient niya is maximum value. Tama? Pero kapag tayo ay sa electrical engineering and by default, dapat ito ay palagi natin i-convert into RMS. Okay, so this is actually 20 over the square root of 2 angle 30. Okay? So, ayan. Ano yung importance ng phasor ulit? So, para mas maintindihan nyo, let's look at this example. Okay, so sabi, the time domain equations representing the three generators are generator 1 is 46 sine 377t plus 56 degrees volts, and generator 2 is 51 sine 377t plus 76 degrees. Generator 3 is 96 cosine 377t minus 144 degrees. Voltage or volts. What is the resultant voltage? Okay? Ayan, jump pa lang, parang paano natin gagawin yan? Paano natin kukunin yung resultant niyan? Meaning guys, kapag pinag-add natin yung tatlo, ano yung sum? Parang ang hirap, di ba? na i-drawing natin yung, kunwari ito yung una, tapos yung pangalawa ay ito, tapos yung pangatlo ay itsura niya ay let's say ganyan. O parang paano niyo i-a-add yan? Ewan. So the best way is to first convert it into its complex form, complex number form. Okay? So let's try it. So yung E1, i-convert natin siya into its phasor. So this is 46 angle 56. Okay? Ang E2, that is 51 angle 76. And yung ating E3 is 96 angle negative 144. Okay? So, kung kukunin natin yung resultant niyan, it's simply E1 plus E2 plus E3. Kung makapansin nyo guys, hindi ko nilagyan ng over square root of 2 Ano lang to, yung maximum values to. Pwede naman kasi natin i-convert siya into RMS doon sa dulo na. Okay, so this is, paano nga ulit mag-add? Yun, no? Yun pala, kailangan muna natin siyang i-convert into a rectangular form. Okay, so 46 angle 56. For actually guys, pwede naman natin itong i-input na sa calculators natin directly. Okay, so paano tayo maglalagay nito into calculator? So punta muna kayo sa mode. Mode. Okay? Tapos pagpunta nyo sa mode, hanapin yung complex. And kapag nasa complex mode na kayo, pwede na kayong mag-add nitong mga to. Okay? So, meron tayong, kung makapansin nyo dyan, meron sa calculator ng ganitong sign. Hanapin nyo. Ano yan? Shift. Pag nag-shift kayo, parang hindi siya nakasulat dun sa button. No? For example, ito yung button. Nakalagay ito. May nakasulat dyan sa taas na ganyan. Hindi siya number 2, ano? Hindi ko lang matandaan kung ano yung nakasulat dun sa bottom. Pero hanapin nyo ito. Hanapin nyo yan. Okay? So, paano yan i-input sa calculator? Una, parenthesis. Then 46. Tapos hanapin nyo yun. Pag naka-complex form kayo guys, hindi nyo na kailangan pindutin yung shift. Okay? So, automatic na yan. Pag pinindot nyo yung button na yun, ang lalabas is yung angle. Angle 56. Then, plus 51 angle 76 plus 96 angle negative 144. Okay, and make sure guys din pala na naka-degrees kayo, naka-deg, hindi kayo naka-rad. Deg. Kasi yung ini-input nyo dito ay degrees. Okay? Okay, so in-input ko siya sa calculator. Ang lumabas na answer for me is naka-rectangular form. Okay, so let me just write it. The answer is negative 39.60 plus 31.19 J. Okay? So, usually guys, ganyan yung lalabas sa inyo. Pero, pwede nyo tong i-convert. Okay? So, punta lang kayo sa shift, complex. Then, pag pinindot yung shift complex, lalabas dyan may argument, conjugate, real, imaginary. Then, meron arrow papunta sa R angle. Okay? So, pindutin nyo yung R angle. Then, equal sign. So, lalabas dyan guys is yung conversion nitong rectangular form into its polar form, which is 50 0.41 angle 141.78 degrees. Okay? Or this is the resultant. Okay? So, ayun. Diyan pa lang nakita nyo na yung use ng complex numbers in electrical engineering, at the same time, yung ating mga phasor. Okay? Pero kung mano-mano, kaya pa naman to guys, pero medyo mahaba lang. Kasi, but the problem is, kailangan natin siyang i-convert isa-isa into its complex. Okay? So, example ng isa. So, E1 is 46 angle 56. So, kung i-convert ko to into its rectangular form, hindi mangyayari niyan, this is E1 is equal to 46 cosine 56 plus 46 sine 56. Tas ito ay nasa imaginary. Okay? And yung E2, kung i-convert ko yan, this is 51 angle 76. That is 51 cosine 76 plus J 51 sine 76. Yung E3 is 96 cosine negative 144 plus J 96 sine angle or sine negative 144. Okay? Yan, yung conversion. Tapos, pag na-convert ko na yan lahat, edi i-add ko yan lahat. Okay? So, ito, i-add ko yan lahat. Add. Kung ano man yan, I'm sure that will yield negative 39.60 plus ito ay this will yield J 31.19. Okay? So, I hope nakita nyo yung importance ng complex numbers ng phasors. Okay, let's move on sa phasor of various loads. So, we have three types of loads. We have resistive or yung ating resistors, resistive loads. We have inductive or yung mga inductors natin, and we have capacitive loads. Okay? So, itong tatlong types ng loads na to ay meron silang iba't ibang effect sa ating voltage and current. Okay? Effect sa ating voltage and current waveforms. Okay? So, unahin natin yung pinaka-simple and yung alam na natin, which is yung ating resistive load or yung ating resistor. Okay? So, when our load is purely resistive, kapag sinabi natin purely resistive, is walang ibang loads kundi resistors lamang. Okay? Tandaan niyo yan? So, for purely resistive loads, we have, ang current natin, alam natin that is V over R. Okay? So, assuming that we have V, so assuming that our waveform for V is equal to Vm sine omega t, okay? I-divide lang natin yan sa ating R. Okay? Para makuha natin dito is yung I. So, ang mangyayari, yung Vm divided by R lang. Yung coefficient lang. So, this now becomes, this value is now our Im. Okay? So, this is times sine omega t, or this is also equal to Im sine omega t. Okay? So, this is our I. Pero, ayun na yung sinasabi ko guys, usually, kailangan pa natin to i-divide sa square root of para makuha natin talaga yung pinaka-current niya. Okay? As well as ito pala, sorry, I forgot. This should be over the square root of para makuha natin yung RMS voltage. Okay guys, kapag hindi sinabi, kapag ang sinabi lang ay kunin yung voltage or yung current, by default, ang kinukuha natin is RMS. Unless otherwise, sinabi na maximum value yung kinukuha. Okay? Kapag maximum value yung kinukuha, no need to divide by square root of 2. Okay? So, ayan. So, this is now our current waveform. Okay? So kung mapapansin nyo, mas mataas yung V kaysa sa I. Bakit? Kasi, well, yung value ng I is yung V, dinivide pa natin sa resistance. Okay? And at the same time, kung mapapansin nyo, yung sign nung current at nung wave, at kung mapapansin nyo, yung current at yung voltage, yung angle nila at yung phase nila ay hindi nagbago. So, sin omega t at sin omega t pa rin. Kung mapapansin nyo, aligned siya. Ang tawag doon is they are in phase. In phase yung voltage at current kapag purely resistive load. Okay? Tandaan. For purely resistive load, I is in phase with V. Anong meaning ng in phase? Ibig sabihin guys, tingnan nyo, parehas ang starting point, parehas din yung endpoint nila. Pantay. Okay? Walang shift, walang nauna, walang nahuli. Sabay silang nag-start, sabay din sila natapos. Yun yung meaning ng in phase yung ating voltage at yung ating current. Okay? Okay? So, kung maaalala nyo, yung VL natin or yung voltage natin across kay inductance, that is equal to L times DI over dt. Okay? So, bali guys, yung voltage dito kay L, siya ay nakadepende sa frequency ng ating AC. Okay? Bakit? Kasi nakadepende yung value ng L na, nakadepende yung voltage natin sa inductor doon sa change in current with respect to change in time. Okay? And yung change in current with respect to change in time, nakaka-affect dyan yung frequency ng ating waveform. Okay? Kung mapapansin nyo, or let's look at these two examples. Okay? Diba? Kung mapapansin nyo, in the same amount of time, kasi ito ay time, mas maraming beses siya nagbago doon sa green kaysa doon sa black. Ibig sabihin, yung frequency dito nakaka-affect doon sa voltage level ng inductor. Okay? So, at the same time, masasabi natin that an inductor and also a capacitor does not consume power like a resistor does. Okay? Magkaiba sila ng consumption. Ang resistor, guys, purely dinidissipate niyo yung power into heat. Okay? Kaya meron tayong, kung maalala nyo, P is equal to I squared R. Okay? Nag-dissipate natin directly yung current or yung voltage, no? Pag resistor. Pero inductors and capacitors, they consume energy differently than a resistor. How? Kung maaalala nyo, ang inductor, hindi naman siya, ito di ba resistor? Ang inductor, ganito yung symbol niya, di ba? Wire lang siya na inikot-ikot mo. So because of this, as we've discussed earlier or in the previous lessons, that ang isang inductor ay nagpo-produce siya ng magnetic field. Okay? So, mayroon ka diyang magnetic field. So, the way that stores use energy is that they store it in a different type of energy, which is a magnetic field. So, yung nakukuha nilang current, kino-convert nila into a magnetic field. Yung capacitor naman, guys, hindi niya rin dinidissipate yung energy katulad ng isang resistor, but it also converts its energy into a different type of energy, which is yung electric field. Tama? Kung ito, meron kang magnetic field, dito naman you have your electric field. Okay? So, iba-iba sila ng paggamit ng energy at ng current. Okay? So, that's why magkaiba sila ng... Okay, so that's... Dito na yun nagkakaiba. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, doon sa ating previous lesson, meron tayong reactance, resistance, and meron tayong reactance. Okay? So, yung reactance, guys, ito yung kumbaga reaction, no? Reaction nung inductor and nung capacitor. Okay? Kaya siya reactance kasi siya ay reaction. Ano yung reaction nung capacitor? Ano yung reaction ng inductor nung pinadaanan ko siya ng current at ng voltage? Okay? So, let's move on first, ano? Okay, so Vn is equal to L di over dt. Kunin muna natin ito, di over dt. So, let's assume that I is equal to Im sin omega t. Okay? So, kapag kukunin natin yung di over dt, then di over dt is just getting the derivative of this equation. Im sin omega t. Okay? So, let's do it. The derivative of Im sin omega t is just, m is just a constant kasi dt variable. So, this is, copy lang natin si Im. The derivative of sine is cosine, then copy omega t, times via chain rule, we have to multiply by the derivative of the argument, omega t. So, kailangan natin siyang i-multiply kay omega. Okay? So, this is our di over dt. Ito lang yan. Di over dt. But this equation, kailangan pa natin i-input doon para makuha natin si VL ulit. So, VL is equal to L times di over dt, which is, ilagay natin tong omega dun sa harap, L Im cosine omega t. Okay, so kung mapapansin nyo, ang equation natin ngayon is Vn is equal to, i-rearrange ko lang, no, omega L Im cosine omega t. Isulat ko, ibaba ko lang dito, no, yung sa ating current para mas makita nyo. Yung ating Vm dito is, ay ang ating V is Vm sin omega t. Yung ating I is Im sin omega t. And kung mapansin nyo, yung I natin dito is just your Vm over your R. Okay? So, via Ohm's law, ano? Ohm's law lang yan. Dito, kung mapapansin nyo, ano yung nakamultiply kay Im para makuha si V? Mapapansin nyo, instead na R, no? Kung i-rewrite ko to, Vm is equal to I times R, di ba? Sorry. Dito, kung mapapansin nyo, yung VL is equal to omega L times Im. No? Napansin nyo yun? Ito na guys, yung tinatawag natin na this omega L is our XL na tinatawag. This is our inductive reactance. Okay? Hindi na siya resistance yung pinag-uusapan natin. Hindi na R. No? Kundi omega L. Okay? So, R omega L, lagay natin XL is equal to omega N. Okay? So, dito na magpo-factor in yung value nung ating inductor. So, ito yung ating inductor and this is our angular frequency. Okay, so sinasabi ko kanina that nagmamatter na this time sa inductor yung frequency. Okay? So, alam naman natin that omega is equal to 2 pi times the frequency. Ayan na. Okay? So, our XL is just equal to 2 pi F times L. Okay? And the unit of this is still in ohms. Okay? So, ano pa yung makapansin natin dito? Isulat ko ulit, no, yung V and yung I. Kung makapansin, yung VL is omega L Im cosine omega t. Yung ating IL or yung ating I in the first place is equal to Im. This is sine omega t. O, ano naman? Kung mapansin nyo, hindi siya consistent. Ang isa cosine, yung isa sine. Kaya ako tinuro kanina, yung conversion from sine to cosine and vice versa kasi kailangan natin consistent tayo. Okay, so itong IL, let's represent this IL in terms of cosine or pwede naman yung VL in terms of sine. Ano yung gusto nyo? Kahit ano, no? Gawin na lang nating sine. Okay, so yung VL, siya ay magiging omega L IM. So kung sine na siya, omega t. So from positive cosine, papunta tayo sa positive sine. Tama? So, ano mangyari? Magpa-plus tayo ng 90 degrees. Tama ba? Counterclockwise. So yes, kailangan natin mag-plus ng 90. Okay? So dito, mapapansin nyo guys, yung relationship nung VL and nung IL, hindi na sila in phase. Nauna na yung VL by 90 degrees. Ibig sabihin, VL leads IL by 90 degrees or pi over 2 when the circuit is purely inductive. Okay? Nag-lead na by 90 degrees yung ating voltage. Or pwede rin, no, VL leads IL or pwede rin nating sabihin na IL lags VL. Okay? So, balik tayo dito sa drawing na to. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung VL, nauna siya. Okay, kung mapapansin nyo, yung VL, kasi yung movement yan guys, yung waves ay parang bumubunggo doon sa pader. Alin yung unang nakarating doon sa pader? Hindi ba si VL? Nakarating si VL, saka lang dumating si IL. Actually, nakalagpas na nga si VL bago dumating si IL. And the difference between the two is pi over 2. Ayan, no? Nauna yung VL by pi over 2 kay IL. Okay? So that is the waveform of a purely inductive load. As compared doon sa ating purely resistive load na pantay lang si V at si I. They are in phase. Dito, they are out of phase by 90 degrees. VL leads or IL lags. Okay? Tandaan nyo na yan guys, no? Palagi na natin gagamitin yan, leading or lagging. Kapag leading, meaning sino yung nauna? Dito sa inductive load, voltage leads current or current lags voltage. Okay? So, i-relate natin to dun sa ating concept dati, about inductor. Di ba, si inductor, ayaw niya sa change, sa mabilis na change in current. Yeah? Bakit? Kasi, naalala niyo to? If this is my inductor or this is my coil of wire, if you have a current passing through this, dito sa loop na to, alam naman natin via Ampere's law, if I have a current there, it will produce a magnetic field dyan. Tama? So, pag dito siya sa coil, dumaan, so meron kang magnetic field doon. Okay? So, may magnetic field ka doon, magnetic field ka doon, magnetic field ka doon. So, pag nagsama-sama yan, magkakaroon ka ng malaking magnetic field. Okay? And itong magnetic field na to, nagpo-produce siya ng kabaligtaran na magnetic field. Parang may pumupersa sa kanya pabalik. Okay, so this magnetic field has an opposing magnetic field which produces a current, no? Na nagpo-push back din sa kanya. Okay, dahil nag-produce ka ng current, dahil nag-produce ka ng magnetic field which in turn produced an opposing magnetic field, that opposing magnetic field then created an opposing current. Kumbaga, that's why parang itong current na to meron tumutulak. That's why dito, nauna si VL kasi yung IL mo ay naiwan. May tumulak sa kanya. And yung tumutulak kay IL, ayun na nga yun, no? It's the nature of inductor to push off rapid change in current. Ayaw niya nun. Okay, so sana napapagtagpi-tagpi natin ano, yung mga previous lessons natin. Okay? So, moving on, punta na muna tayo sa capacitor naman. Okay? So, sa capacitor guys, ang alam natin sa capacitor is that the current passing through a capacitor is equal to C dV dt. Okay? Naalala? So, let's assume that I have V is equal to itong V ay VC yan, ano? VC. V doon sa capacitor. So, assuming that the voltage across the capacitor is equal to Vm sin omega t. Okay, so kunin natin yung derivative nito, which is yan. So, d Vc over dt is just equal to t dt ng Vm sin omega t. Okay? So, again, dt yung hinahanap natin. So, therefore, Vm will be, or Vm is just a constant. Okay? So, this is Vm. Derivative of sin omega t is cosine omega t. Then, times the derivative of the argument, which is omega. Okay? So, this is, ito lang, derivative lang nung V with respect to t. But kailangan pa natin tong i-input doon. Okay, so yung IC talaga natin is just equal to C, which is yon, times the derivative of V with respect to t, which is this one. So, Vm, ilagay ko na yung omega dun sa tabi niya. CW, Vm, cosine omega t. Okay. But dito guys, ano, hindi tayo sanay na V yung may nakamultiply. Okay? Okay, so this is equivalent lang, no, kay IC is to Im cosine omega t. Okay? So guys, this should be equal to this. Tama? So, let's write that here, no? So, C or omega C times Vm is equal to Im daw. Okay? But hindi tayo sanay guys na meron tayong nakamultiply kay Vm. Usually, diba, ang Ohm's law is V is equal to IR. So, may nakamultiply kay R. Okay? So, ilipat natin yan guys. So, Vm is equal to Im times 1 over omega C. Okay? So, kung kanina, ano nga ulit yung, ayan ano, ito yung kanina, wherein our xn is equal to omega L. Yun yung nakamultiply kay Im. Ngayon, ang nakamultiply kay Im is 1 over omega C. And this is what we call our XC naman. This is our capacitive reactance. Omega times. Okay? So, our XC is equal to 1 over omega C. Okay? Wherein, again, our omega is 2 pi f. Okay? So, our capacitive reactance is 1 over 2 pi f times C, which is the capacitance. Kung ano yung ilang farads yung ating capacitor. Okay? So, farads. No? Ito naman pala kanina, this L inductor is in henries. Okay. So, isulat din natin ano kung ano yung dalawang waveforms natin. We have our V and our I. So, dito, our IC is equal to Im cosine omega t, and our VC is equal to Vm sin omega t. i-convert natin tong I into cos. Okay? So, my IC is equal to IM sin. So, from cos papunta kay omega t, ano nga ulit ang mangyayari? From sin papunta kay... Okay, so from cos papunta kay sin, paano nga natin ulit gagawin yon? So, this is positive cos papunta kay positive sin. So, tayo ay plus or minus. That will be counterclockwise, no? So, plus. Okay, so omega t plus 90. Okay? So, itong dalawa yung i-compare natin. So, dito, kung mapapansin nyo, yung IC natin, it now leads by 90 degrees. Tinan nyo, no? Yung plus 90 na kay current dito. Kanina, dito sa inductor, yung plus 90 ay nandito kay voltage. Okay? So, masasabi natin that I leads V if load is purely capacitive. I leads V or V lags I. Okay, guys? Ibig sabihin, ang i-expect natin kapag meron tayo dito, nauuna si current. This is I. And dito naman si V. Okay? This is V. Nauuna si I kay V. Tingnan natin doon sa drawing. Ayan, no? Exactly as what we drew. No? Nauna si I kaysa kay V. Ayan, no? Nauna si I. And by how much? By 90 degrees or pi over 2. And it's because of that. Okay? So, ayun guys, ano? Dito na natin nako-quantify yung sinasabi natin dati na tinutulak yung current ni inductor or tinutulak yung voltage ni capacitor. Okay, so dito, bakit nga ulit? Why is it that voltage lags? Okay? So, voltage lags in capacitors or in capacitive loads because ayaw nga din ni capacitor ng change in voltage. No? Magsisimula yan dito. No? Ayan, no? Kapag sobrang rampant nung change na yan, sobrang laki ng current. Para ka may short circuit dyan kapag sobrang laki ng change in voltage. Kaya ayaw ni voltage. No? Kaya, di ba kung maaalala niyo yung ating water tank analogy kay capacitor, it's as if a capacitor is a water tank. If I have a water tank, then meron akong water no galing sa galing kay prime water o kung kanino. This fills up this tank with water. Okay? Isipin niyo yan yung voltahe, no? Yung current, then nagkakaroon ka dito ng voltahe sa water tank. Ngayon, ikaw bilang owner ng bahay, dito ka kumukuha ng water sa water tank. Okay? So dito, may flow ka dito ng water. Tama? Ngayon, let's say, biglang nawala ng water dito biglang nawala ng water dyan sa ating source. Magbabago, ikaw ba mawawalan ka ng water agad-agad? No. Kasi meron kang reserved water or meron kang reserved voltage. Okay? So, even na wala tayong water doon sa ating pinaka-source, meron naman tayong water dito sa ating water tank. Okay? It stores energy in terms of electric field para siyang nag-work as a battery. Na china-charge natin. Kapag tayo ay naglalagay ng current, china-charge natin yung ating tank, yung ating capacitor. And kapag nawala yung ating source, hindi agad magbabago yung ating voltage. Bakit? Kasi meron pa tayong reserve dito sa ating tank. Okay? So that's why parang ayaw niya sa change in voltage, kaya pinupush niya yung voltage pabalik. That's why nauuna si current. That's why current leads voltage when the load is purely capacitive. Okay? So I hope naintindihan po yun, ano? Okay, so we're done with the 3. So gawa tayo ng example, guys, ano? So we have 3 examples here. No? May 1 pair tayo dito, may second pair tayo dito, and may third pair tayo dito. Oh, okay, so the instruction for this is to first identify if the load of this pair is an resistor, a capacitor, or an inductor. Okay? And number 2 is to identify the value of the resistor or the inductor or the capacitor. Okay? So, number 1 muna, we have V is equal to 2,000 sine 377t and VI is 11 sine 377t. Okay, so is this an inductive, capacitive, or resistive load? Okay, so saan tayo unang titingin? Titingin muna tayo sa, it means that the waveforms of V and I are in phase. Kapag in phase, we know that's purely resistive. Tama? Okay, so number 1, this is resistive. Resistive yung load. Kasi in phase yung voltage at yung current. Okay? So, number 2, kailangan natin kunin yung value ng resistance. Okay? So, my R will simply be 2,000 over 11. Okay? So, that's the answer. Okay? So, punta naman tayo kay number 2. Number 2 is, ang V is 80 sine 157t plus 150 degrees and yung I is 2 sine 157t plus 60 degrees. Okay, so unahin natin yung voltage. Sabi yung voltage is at an angle 150 degrees. Okay, so hanap tayo ng angle. This is 90. So ilan pa yung natitira? 60. So 60 siya papunta dito. So this is 150 degrees. So this is our V and yung I daw natin is 60 degrees. So somewhere around here. This is my I. Okay? So yung rotation yan guys is, ano nga ulit yung direction? The rotation is counterclockwise. And ito yung reference. Kung iyan yung reference, yan yung guys yung parang tinatawag nating finish line. So kung umiikot yung dalawa, no, maintaining the distance or the angle between them, alin dyan yung mauuna? Yung V or yung I? Siyempre yung V. Tama? Andito na siya, oh. Malapit na siya dito as compared dito kay I. So kapag V ang nauuna, it means V leads I or I lags V. Kapag naglalag si I, that means that is a what? That is a inductive load. Tama? Okay. So, number 2, that is inductive. So, since inductive siya, kailangan natin hanapin yung value ni N. Okay? So, how will we do that? Pwedeng i-convert natin, I-convert natin ito into its complex number. So, yung V ko, it will become 80 angle 150 and yung aking I will be 2 angle 60 degrees. Okay? So, ito yung kagandahan guys ng phasor at ng complex numbers. So, kapag ganyan, kaya natin makuha si X kasi, well, V is equal to IX. Ito na yung ating bagong Ohm's law, pag inductor. The current times the reactance is equal to the voltage. Okay, so para makuha natin si X, that's just V divided by I. So kaya na natin to. We have 80 angle 150 divided by 2 angle 60. Okay, so paano nga ulit natin ginagawa yan? Una, ito i-divide lang natin, 80 divided by 2, then yung angle will be just the difference, 150 minus 60. So this is 40 angle 90. Yan yung ating x. Uy, tinan nyo yan? Angle is 90. Or kung isusulat ko yan, in rectangular form, that is, since angle 90, parang ganito yan, ano, i-drawing natin. Yes, ayan. This is my z, which is 40. And nakatayo siya by 90 degrees. So, in rectangular form, that is, ilan dito? 0. That is 0 plus 40j. That is my x. Okay? Reactance pa lang yan, guys. Hindi pa yan yung inductor. Okay? So, XL is, we know, is equal to the omega L. That is equal to 40. Tama? And yung omega natin is magkano? Sa example na to, our omega is 157. Bakit? Omega T yan, guys. So, our omega is 157. So, this is 157 times L is equal to 40. So, therefore, my L is 40 over 157. Or this is approximately equal to 0.25 henries. 0.25 henries. Okay? So, that is number 2. Okay, number 3 naman, guys. Ayan. Tingnan natin yung dalawang angles. Negative 20 and negative 10. So, pag negative 20, papunta ka dito. So, it's negative 20 and yung isa is negative 10. So, this is 90. Ayan. So, this is your I and this is your V. But, the question is, tama ba na straightforward gagawin na natin yan? Tandaan nyo, guys, kailangan consistent tayo. Makapansin nyo, this is in sine, this is in cosine. So, para makita natin yung totoong relationship nung V at nung I, kailangan natin maging consistent. So, therefore, kailangan muna natin i-convert yung isa papunta dun sa isa. So, yung cosine, pwede natin convert to sine or yung sine, pwede natin convert to cos. Kasi yung cosine na lang, i-convert natin into cos. So, I will now become 7 sine 750/40 minus 110. Then, ano yung i-add or subtract natin from positive cos, papunta tayo kay positive sine. Okay, so that is plus 90 degrees. Tama ba? So, plus 90. So, this becomes, my current is 7 sine 750/40, 110, negative 110 plus 90 is minus 20. Okay, kung mapapansin nyo, biglang, uy, parehos na. Si V at si I. No? Negative 20 yung kanilang phase. Pareho. It means, siya ay resistive din. Walang phase shift, sila ay in phase. The voltage and current are in phase. Okay? So, what will be the R? That's just ito, 35 divided by 7. Or that is 5 ohms. Okay? So, I hope naintindihan and na-appreciate natin kung ano yung function and ano yung importance ng phasors, especially when dealing with alternating current or AC circuits. Oops. Okay, so that will be all for today. Thank you.